All right, as promised, this is going to be a quick introduction to SPSS. And after you start it, this is version 16, by the way, that I'm using. And after you start it, you'll see a dialog box on the screen. We're not going to use this dialog box because we're going to open some data by ourselves. So the first thing to do is go ahead and cancel this, and you could also hit the X. And the next thing we're going to do is just kind of take a quick look at the SPSS screen. If you notice, this area kind of looks like Excel, Microsoft Excel. It's got rows and columns. So obviously the rows are here and the columns are here, and each of the columns is marked with VAR, and that stands for variable. And we don't have anything loaded yet, so you can't see anything, and these are the individual cells. So let's take a look at the top of the screen. It looks like any other Windows program. There's a file menu here, and under the file menu you have new, new. And under new, you have new data, new syntax, and we're not going to work with syntax during this semester. New output or a new script, and we're not going to work with scripts either, so not to worry about that. And you have open, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be opening data, and we're going to be doing that in one moment. We'll come back to it. Under the edit screen, there's a lot of stuff like you'd see in any other Windows program. There's undo, and of course, because we haven't done anything, we can't undo anything, and that's why it's grayed. Redo, cut, copy, and paste as usual, and insert a variable, and insert cases. In SPSS, a case is a chunk of data. So, for instance, if we have a database on cars, let's say you have a 1989 Volkswagens with the engine size and the wheel size and the horsepower, etc. That would be a case, whereas a Chevrolet would be another case. So that's what that means. And we're not going to go into the options just yet. View, we're not going to really be looking at this very often. We'll get back to it later in the semester. Data we will be using, and we'll go through that as we come upon the instances in which we will use it. Transform we will be using. Analyze we'll definitely be using a lot, and we're going to be doing some descriptive statistics in about 5 minutes. And graphs, we'll certainly be building some graphs. And utilities, not so much this semester. That's for an advanced class. Add-ons, not this class. And window, you could split the window or minimize the window. And help, this is the help topics. And SPSS has a pretty comprehensive help system, and it's very similar to Word or any other Windows help system. So first off, let's go back to the File menu, and we're going to open some data. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to go to File, Open, and click on Data. And once we do that, this dialog box is going to open, and where we're going to go is it's going to be in the same place on your computer. Let's go to My Computer and double click on that, and then go from My Computer to C, your C drive, and let's then go over to Program Files, which is going to be over here on mine, and it'll be in a similar place on yours. Give that a double click and open it up, and from there just slide over to SPSS, and I've got a couple on here, so I'm just going to do SPS. You see I have an SPSS GP, an SPSS Viewer, an SPSS Inc., and an SPSS OEM. The one I want is SPSS Inc. That may change in the newer versions, so you'll have to take a look around if you have a really new version like 18 or 19. From here we're going to go into here, just keep on opening it, and we're going to go into samples, and that's ultimately what you're going to want to find is the samples, the sample databases. And for this this particular one, we're going to go into a database named CARS, and it's right here. Car insurance, car sales, and so let's try. Oh, well, this surprised me. I'm looking for one called Cars, just Cars, and that doesn't seem to be here. So let's go ahead and open, if you have it, car sales. And you notice that any database of data in SPSS has the extension .sav, save. So go ahead and click that, and we'll just open that up. And this is a car sales database, and you can see that it looks very much like Excel. Pardon me. The variables in this are manufacturer, model, sales, resale, the type, the price, the engine size, the horsepower, wheelbase, width, length, curb weight, fuel capacity, how much fuel the car has, and miles per gallon, log transformed sales. We're not going to worry about that particular. This is a Z score, which we'll be learning about in a couple of weeks. So let's just go over to the bottom of the screen, and as you can see, these are the variables, and these are the cases or the rows. All right, and we have in this particular one 157, and we end with Volvos. Okay, and they're different types of Volvos. And for this particular one, we're just going to take a look at some very basic elements. So the first thing I want you to do is, I'm just going to skid back up to the top. I'm going to look, this is the data view. This is actually showing us the data. And I know that I'm in data view because down on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, it says data view. If we move over here to variable view, it tells us about the variables in the database, and when we build our own SPSS database, we will actually make some of these variables, and we'll show you how, and it's very easy. But the first one is the manufacturer, and it's a string or letters as opposed to numbers. String in SPSS, just like in some programming languages, means letters. And the width is 13 characters long, so we could put stuff in there that is up to 13 characters. It is not a numeric field, so we have 0 decimal places. The label is manufacturer, so in other words, when we do something, when we do an analysis and it comes out on SPSS output, it's going to read manufacturer and not manufact. It does not have any predetermined values, and we'll show you that in a little bit. And there's no value if the data for this particular element is missing. In other words, it won't default to anything. And columns are 13. It's left aligned, and the type of variable it is nominal. And of course, when you read Chapter 1, and look at the different types of variables that we deal with in statistics, you'll see that nominal is basically a name, and the next one is also nominal, and scale means that it's a continuous number or a continuous variable, and ordinal means that it's something that is in order. Okay, and we could look at the different types of variables that we can make these. We can make them scale, ordinal, or variable. And to keep this file relatively small, I'm going to hold up here, and then I will continue on in another file, and we'll call it analysis. Okay. So thank you for listening to that very brief introduction to SPSS, and we'll look at some of this iconography down here after we actually run some tests. Okay, so if you have any questions, obviously post them onto the board or email me, and I hope that this very short introduction helped you.